Hello everyone. As a part of this video, I will brief you how to create a project chatter for an allocated topic. Before you start reading these things, it is very important to see what are the projects that are allocated on your name. If you check this Excel sheet, it contains all the researcher names that are working on the project management topic, and titles for each project is given here. These are the titles, and based on the title you will start your project plan, project chatter document. It is very important to give some name to the organization for which you are going to implement this project. So select some random name by searching on the organization, and it should match the type of organization that is mentioned here. If you say e-commerce company, you need to select some kind of small e-commerce or startup e-commerce companies. Then if it is a mobile application for restaurant, you can select some restaurant name in the United States of America. If it is an IT infrastructure for an organization, there is no specific type of organization that is mentioned here, so you can select any organization. When it is a medium scale organization, you should cross check on the internet what type of medium scale organizations are available on internet. For a busy salon, you need to select a salon and give a salon name as organization. And for mobile game, you can create you can mention any name, any company name of your interest. So similarly, like based on the detailing that is given in the project title, you are supposed to select an organization name. Okay, here we are not going to give any organization name, you will be selecting your own organization name. Make sure that it has some information. Okay, so next, after selecting this organization, I will take one simple thing, maybe installation of a data center for a semiconductor manufacturing company. I will select this topic, and based on the topic I will try to brief you, and I will also mention some explanation related to the application development, because we have attendance management system, mobile application, game, there are different type of projects that are related to the software application development. So I will try to explain both the concepts while I brief you how to write project chatter. The first thing is purpose. So purpose of the project that you are going to discuss. Project chatter is initial document that we usually develop, which consists of most important facts and figures and relevant information related to the project that you are going to develop in future. Okay, so project chatter speaks about a lot of things that includes what are important milestones and what are the basic risks that are expected to happen to the organization and key milestones. It also discusses about assumptions related to your project, what is the state of project when you are starting the project, that will be based on the assumptions. Okay, so very clear detailing, a brief introducing document by seeing which we can understand what is the project that we are going to do. Okay, so usually project management document will be a very large document and vague document. It contains lot of detailing. So when a stakeholder want to see what is actually the project about, it is very difficult to read complete project management document. If they read project chatter, they can briefly understand what is the project about, what is the budget, and what are the other important details related to the project. So let us start briefing about it. Purpose. The first one is, what is the purpose of development of your project? If you take installation of data center for some XYZ organization, what is the purpose of installation of the data center? Usually we need to create a scene for that particular topic. So data centers are usually installed to make sure that whatever the data that is generated by the organization to be stored in one particular location, a secure location, and that is what we call a storage center or a data center. Okay, so the data center consists of all the data that will be generated by the organization, which help organization to access whenever it is required. Usually organization will have different type of functional modules. Each functional module using an application, when they try to access some information, like for example, if you take product related details, if you want to know what are the products that are manufactured by the organization, if you want to know the functional module, maybe sales module people, if they try to access that information, that information, the information that is stored in the data center can be accessed. So this purpose should be clearly explained. So maybe organization is facing some difficulties related to providing access to the people when they are trying to communicate remotely. Maybe within the organization there is no centralized data center, because of which integrity issues are occurring. Maybe the information on different functional modules related information systems are having different informations. It had some integrity issues, data integrity issues. So in that situation, what they do is like they create a data center which will be easy to access. It's a centralized system and which is easily accessible for all the functional modules and all the employees that are located remotely. Okay, simply when we are trying to write, maybe if you are developing a e-commerce website, it is a need. So you will be discussing that the main purpose of this project is to implementation of a software application that helps e-commerce company to sell its products and services online. Very simple purpose. Okay, if it is a game development related thing, so it is very simple, like maybe organization is a creative organization, and the main purpose of development of this project is to ensure that organization get more clients, more customers, more users, and because of which organization might get some good revenues. So that is how we will be writing. The purpose is to implement. The title itself is mostly the purpose. Okay, and you give some extra description to that, a small description to that in the purpose. Next, in the project description, you will describe what are the situations that organization is undergoing, and it is also from your ideas only. You are supposed to write it from your own ideas. If the organization is in need of data center, we need to understand what are the problems it is having, why this project is implemented, because of implementation of this project, what kind of benefits you are going to get. In this way you should discuss. Next, considering your project, what are your main objectives? Maybe installation, maybe if you take installation of a website, it requires a web server installation, database server installation, and application creation and implementation. So simple. Otherwise, you can make management related objectives also, maybe creating a website for the organization, then increasing organization sales, and making sure that application is secure enough. So these are some key objectives that we can maintain. 3 to 5 objectives you can select based on your topic. Make sure that your objectives describe what you are going to do in this project. Okay, so what will be done in this project are usually broken into different parts, and we mention each task as a objective. Next one, we speak about success criteria or expected benefits. So you can discuss any of these two things. Usually success criteria mostly speaks about what you are going to achieve. Okay, if you say that in the bottom it is given clearly, acceptance, in the acceptance criteria. Usually the project success depends on creating a error free application, or zero connection issues, connection drop issues, data centers. If it is a data center, zero connection losses will be considered as a success criteria. And because of implementation of that project, it should create some kind of benefit to the organization. You should speak what kind of benefit it will be creating to the organization. So that is considered as a success criteria. Okay, usually what kind of benefits organization is going to get, and what kind of application you are going to develop. By speaking about these two things, you can decide what is your success criteria. Next, funding. You should speak about what is the expected budget of your project and who will fund it. So the organization that you have chosen, it will be mentioned as a funder. They will be allocating funds to the project, and being a service provider, he will be implementing the project. Major deliverables. Project management will have few phases, like a planning phase, development phase, implementation phase, testing phase, acceptance testing phase, and in this way you will be having multiple levels of works that we do. So you can consider them as your project delivers. List 4 or 5 phases of the project and mention what is the time that will be taken to complete each phase. That is enough for major deliverable. Sorry, that is milestone schedule. Here major deliverable means, I'm really sorry, what major deliverables means, usually what are your outcomes after completing by the end of this project, what is delivered. If it is a data center, you will be delivering a data center. Your deliverable will include data center and a document that describes usually like how to troubleshoot if any problem occurs to the data center or a website. It also speaks, it also provides user guide. User guide will be given usually, so which contains all the steps that should be followed to properly use the data center or website or some internet or local area network, whatever it is. There will be a project guide. A risk management document will be given. So different types of documents will be delivered. Okay, you can name 3 or 4 deliverables. That is enough. Okay, a simple description about the deliverable. Next, acceptance criteria. Usually, like client will have certain expectations or certain functional needs. So whatever it is you are implementing, that should be satisfying the needs of the client. Second one is the application or whatever you have implemented, it should contain 0 errors, error free. It should be error free. Next one, the project that is proposed completed within the time and within the budget limits, it is acceptable. So you should write it in your own way, how time and budget are considered to accept the project, and key functional and non-functional requirements related information should also be discussed. Next, milestones. As I mentioned earlier, we will be listing 5 to 6 milestones, a simple 3 to 4 word sentences, and it should contain start and end dates and total duration it takes to complete. Okay, this should be given in a table, which helps. Next one, key assumptions. So usually what we say is, so as we are going to plan this project, we say that maybe project already project negotiations, all information, all basic requirement analysis. So everything is done by now, and you are simply starting the project. You are now planning to implement the project. So your project is already started. Maybe you can see your assumptions can be include what cost is already completed, or how much money is already spent on this project. That will be one type of thing. Second thing is requirement analysis phase. We need not to do any requirement analysis as a part of completing the project plan. So you can speak that the requirement analysis aspect of the project management is already done. Basic review, identification of resources, and procurement of resources, these activities are already done. Maybe this kind of statements are usually discussed in key assumptions. You can understand what is the state of resources. So to make it simple, you will be speaking about what is the current state of resource availability, what is the current state of project, what milestones, what kind of activities are already done as a part of this project, and what are the actual situation of the project, if it is undergoing any issues. That kind of detailing should be given in the key assumptions section. Next, constraints. Usually when we are planning a project, it is very important to follow 3 main constraints: time, quality, and cost. So these 3 are related to each other. If time is given more, we can provide more quality project, and if time is used the time slot is more, the cost of the project will also increase. If the project cost is decreased, the time of allocation will decrease and the quality also decrease. So it is very important that, so for example, if a project is scheduled for 20 days, if it goes for 21 days, we call it a time overrun, and because of which the project will incur additional costs. Okay, maybe quality might be achieved, but the cost of the project will be overrun. That is not acceptable by the project owners. Okay, so when a project is planned for certain period of time, it should be done within the period of time. Okay, so we speak that that time means the project should be completed within the timelines. We discussed that the main constraint is time, and the expected the allocated, the project will follow the schedule and it tries to finish the project within the scheduled time. Similarly for quality also. So quality is very important to maintain. Without quality, it is not possible to accept the project by the clients. Okay, next, cost. The project should be completed within the budget that is given by the client. Otherwise it will be lost to the client. Scope change is whether scope change means like whatever you are planned after certain period of time, if something related to project plan is changed, it will result in scope change. So when scope changes, it will have high impact on time, quality and cost related elements. So scope change is one another important constraint that should be maintained by the client and the project management teams. Okay, so that is all about constraints. Next, try to discuss about major risks that could happen to your project because of technical issues, because of people management, and because of uncertain things that could happen in real time. So usually technical risk means power failure in the data centers, inavailability of websites, inavailability of communication between different servers, not responding systems. There will be different types of risks that will be happen because of technical issues. Risk associated with people management means like we need to procure enough number of people for completing the project, and usually in while managing people, some conflicts might happen because of which we might lose people. So that situation should be identified. Okay, next, uncertainties and natural disasters. When some uncertain thing like COVID or like some floods, earthquakes happen, it will result in impacting the project success, project completion within the time, quality and scope. So these things should be mentioned, some very specific detailing, maybe occurrence of natural disasters because of which maybe project might be delayed. So you mention what are the key issues that might be occurring to the project and briefly explain what it is. Next, approval requirements. Approval requirements, as it was discussed, when a project charter is created, it should clearly identify what is the scope of the project, and it should mention what is the estimated budget and what is the estimated timelines, what are the key milestones, and whether the expected resources like human resource, material resource are available to the service provider or not. Based on these things, the project owner will approve the project. So those things should be discussed in this section. Next section is project manager. We name some project manager, but you simply say that project manager is having good qualification. You mention whatever the qualifications you have, you can mention, or some details you can provide. And at the end, I expect you people to write that the project manager is having good experience in completing this kind of projects, whatever the kind of project you are doing. That kind of projects, they have very good experience. You should mention that they have very good experience in implementing the kind of project you are doing. So next one is reporting requirement. Reporting requirement, usually it speaks about reporting standards. Okay, so usually English usage, we include less jargons and we make sure that a proper English is written which is easy to understand by any person who is reading it. While mentioning the finances, accounting standards will be followed. We say that US based accounting standards, you search for what are the accounting standards that are followed in the United States. You mention that accounting standards is followed. We can speak about time mentioning, whether we are mentioning time in days, weeks or months, in what way we are mentioning, that should be explained. And the format of the document, what kind of formatting style we are using, APA 7 formatting style. So that detailing should be provided. We simply write a paragraph that clearly explains what kind of reporting requirements that are matched. It is not required that you have to mention everything, all the 4 points. You can mention any 2 points or 3 points among them. Okay, so this is all about your project charter document. If you have any questions, please ask me. All right, thank you very much.